Hi everyone. I felt inspired to do a special video and share my story about overcoming addictions. I've been private my whole life, and I thought how helpful it would be to so many in this sheer struggle. Doesn't matter if it's a substance addiction, a food one, porn, gambling, shopping, or something characteristic. Addictions not only destroy that person that has it, but all those lives of the people who are close to them. I always say different situation, same principle. It's the mental part that is truly hard and where I have failed many times in my overcoming addictions. Once you are absolutely set in your mind that you won't ever do it again, then the physical part or the action is a result of that mental decision. You may not you may need to wean off your addictions for the physical part. The chemical addiction in your body has to subside little by little, or it goes into a shock type mode. Now, my story. I apologize upfront as this is pretty personal, and I'm sure I may get choked up a little bit on camera. I'm already feeling it. The most powerful of my addictions started at age 15. As many of you know, I was big into baseball, and I started chewing tobacco. After some time over the years, I was chewing a lot. This lasted from age 15 to 33. The part where I feel very fortunate was not to have any health problems that my dentist could see. I truly hated the addiction. Chemically, my body wanted it so bad. My mind didn't want to do it at all, but my body completely did. That is why I say you may need to wean off of something. They say that quitting nicotine is more difficult than quitting heroin. I wouldn't know that, of course, but I believe it wholeheartedly. There were a lot of things that I would do in my daily routine that involved chewing. Learning to do those things and loving it without using my addictions was the incredibly hard mental battle to overcoming them. One of my other addictions that didn't start until I was in high school was alcohol. To give you an idea of how bad it was for me, I would black out all the time, not pass out. Big difference. Blacking out is when you are awake and functioning. Passing out is going unconscious. I love to use this example of how severe my alcohol addiction was. A school backpack usually has books in it, right? I'm like, here I am. Mine fit perfect for a 12-pack of beer. In my 20s, if I saw water in the fridge, my mouth would literally water thinking it was vodka. Pretty bad, huh? I actually thought in high school that I was normal, as my friends were all doing it just as much. but not the black cut part. I still didn't quite recognize how bad it was until I got home from college at the age of 19. I then basically traded the alcohol addiction for weed one. I was a lot happier smoking weed and only drinking a little. I still chewed the whole time during all of this, but I was really happy not having any more hangovers or feeling very bloated all the time, not to mention the serious health risks of your liver being damaged from alcohol. So, all throughout my 20s and a little bit in my early 30s, before my brain surgery 10 years ago, anyone who needs some help on that one, I'm 43 now. So I smoked weed, drank a lot. I smoked weed a lot, drank a little, chewed lots, and partied a bit, to say the least. I imagine I went to a party every weekend. Now, when I was 33, as I said, I had brain surgery. My doctor told me that he strongly suggests I don't do any of those things, as he didn't know what kind of effect that might have on me. He said maybe even fatal. Now, of course, the death factor is a pretty big motivator. I was able to stop weed and drinking no problem. But my nicotine addiction was super strong. One of the first things I did when I got out of the hospital, I did drink. Is I went and bought a can of chewing tobacco. I was pretty certain that my doctor was just trying to be cautious, but I took the risk with chewing regardless. Not very smart, I know. Does that tell you how strong my nicotine addiction was? I tried a few times to wean off of using nicotine with nicotine gum, but I always failed. Sooner or later, it would last a while, but then I didn't get my nicotine buzz. I would get irritable. I really hated that it controlled my attitude and stuff. It wasn't me at all. The other part to this mental battle, which was extremely difficult but very necessary to succeed in this goal to overcoming my addictions. Also, this was, as I stated in my book, changing friends. That is hard, as they were such awesome people, but pretty much everything we did when we hung out included alcohol or smoking weed. Chewing was something I always did, like I said, whether I was with friends or not. That was a whole other animal to conquer in my mind. But the first order of business for this goal to stop my addictions was to surround myself with uplifting people who have complete fun without involving drugs or alcohol. I will say that was probably one of the most important parts to overcoming my addictions. Think, if you are trying to stop drinking, probably an awesome idea not to go into a bar, right? Same idea. If I wanted to succeed in this, I could be around it. Now, I built up the strength as I can easily say no to anything now, of course. But at first, no way was I strong enough. That is where I believe others need to start in their journey to stop their addiction. If it's food, that is hard as you can't change who you're around, like a hubby or kids. That's gonna be more difficult, but you can do it. I've seen many who have. I know that maybe what they're eating smells and tastes incredible, but in reality, you do not want to trade what you want most for what you want at the moment. Because after you eat it, you will feel awful for doing so and beat yourself up, which is a whole other issue of self-esteem and spiraling down. You may see a person just have one. I was always jealous of the person that could just have one beer or one glass of wine. You think it's not fair watching a person just have a few, but we know we just can't stop at a few. Back to my story. I ended up weaning off the nicotine over a few months. One of the things that helped me overcome it was doing other things that caused the release of dopamine instead. Things like working out often, sleeping enough, eating less saturated fats, listening to music, etc. As my brother always says, it's not a phase, it's a lifestyle change. Let me say it again, as this is probably the most important message in this video. It's not a phase, it's a lifestyle change. I believe doing this stuff will extremely help you in quitting any addiction you may have. This is a huge change in your life. If you want drastic changes, you will need to do drastic things. I learned how to do all this normal stuff we all do daily with a completely different, sobering experience. My normal was being intoxicated or high. Being sober felt uncomfortable in a way. I was mostly thinking about when I can get buzzed, drunk, or high next. When I stopped doing my addictions, I found a completely different experience in all that normal stuff, sober, finding and aware of the amazing parts of that event. I hope this helped you all. I hope you like, comment, and share this with your loved ones, as I know it will help them big time in their addictions. I know what it's like to feel on that helpless road, and I wish I had something as relates to this to help me in my journey of addiction recovery. Remember to subscribe to my channel. I do funny and exciting new videos every week. You guys have a good day.